You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme park podcast, and this is show number 421 for Sunday the 31st of July 2022.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young and I am joined by my jolly good chum Jane Phipps as your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hey up there, Jane.
Hey up, Michelle, it's school's out time, isn't it, love?
It is. I played the song School's Out for Summer, and wow, what an end of the year. Very, very strange.
Yeah, very hot end to the school year.
It was very hot and sticky.
And you got showered with oodles and oodles of gifts.
I was gobsmacked. Seriously, Jane. Gobsmacked, because it's been a tough year getting the children back to settled from not being in education for a year and a half. So this was the first full year they've had in school for 2 years.
Crikey, yeah, you forget about that, don't you?
And yeah, it was really emotional saying goodbye to the class, and yeah, I spent most of the day in the afternoon in tears because I have such a lovely class,
Yeah.
you know, and I was incredibly spoilt with some amazing gifts. Jane, a Mickey Mouse double duvet. Hello. I have never been given a duvet. It's from Primana. It is amazing.
It's classic, isn't it? I must admit, you know, over my years of teaching, obviously I've had plenty of Disney touches and their parents get to know that you like a bit of Disney. But I don't think bed linen has ever crossed my path.
And it's amazing. I got a really nice Alice in Wonderland bag that looks like a book.
Oh.
Which is really nice. And this one pupil got me a certificate that was framed saying the world's best teacher. And it was really funny, on the leaving assembly, I'd done her a certificate saying the world's best pupil. And it was just purely by chance that we'd thought of the same thing. So I think that was really, really special.
Oh. And now we're all into being relaxed and looking forward to the summer.
We are indeed. How's things with you? Enjoying your retired life?
I am. I'm very chilled at the moment, Michelle. And I'm quite liking the new me. This doing what I want, when I want, you know, if I want or not, sitting outside having cups of coffee. Yeah, it's the new way forward.
Sounds absolute bliss, babe. It really does.
Well, you know, it's something I'm still getting to grips with not going to work, and I'm still kind of trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with my time. But I've got quite a lot of stuff going along. What we're getting, sort of my dad's house out, and one thing or another. So I've got plenty to keep me occupied. But it is, I have to say, I am enjoying the de-stress of not going to work, shall we say.
Very much as well.
Thank you.
Right, lovely. We've got a podcast.
Oh, better do that, haven't we?
And I have got some Disney history, a bit of a quirky change around of events there.
Okay.
And it's because it kind of quirked me, did some of these bits and pieces I found. You know, I have this thing about Nabisco being the national biscuit company that makes cookies.
Yes.
Anyway, this isn't about them, but it is about the United Biscuit Company of America, the Sawyer Biscuit Company, and the Chicago Carton Company, because on this day, 31st of July 1922, Disney issued a triple lawsuit against the trio of companies because they used 4 of Disney's characters to promote their animal crackers, which I gather we in the UK called animal biscuits.
Yes, we do, don't we? So did they use them without asking permission, the naughty people?
They did.
Oh.
And over the years, the company has evolved and been bought out by different people and one thing and another. But now the United Biscuit Company of America is owned by the Kellogg Company.
Now there's no surprise, really.
Yeah, but it still tickles me that they're called biscuit and they produce cookies. It's just something that makes me smile.
It is, isn't it? Because especially when the American word biscuit refers to something else as well.
Yeah.
It's very peculiar.
Yeah.
What's that? Two nations divided by one language?
Absolutely. And the more I get to speak with our lovely American friends, the more these language difficulties come up. As we've found to my shock horror when I was baking pasties.
Yes, not pasties. Pasties.
No, pasties.
Yeah.
So we'll move on and skirt away to the 2nd of August in 1998. And I picked this one because it's kind of linked to where my head is at the moment.
Oh, okay.
And Disney guests on board the Disney Magic on their maiden voyage on that new vessel became the very first Disney guests to step foot on Castaway Cay. Or Key.
Wow.
Or Key. I don't
Key.
know which. Yeah.
I always say Key.
I say Castaway Cay, but the Americans say Castaway Cay, and I'm confused. Or we'll just call it Gorda Cay, which is what its original proper name isn't. But Disney changed it because they didn't want it to make it sound like it was a drug runner's paradise. So,
Well, preferably not, yeah. Private island. Shall we just call it a private island?
Disney's private island in the Caribbean, and they were the first guests to step foot, and I will be walking in their footsteps, hopefully, in the next month.
Very, very soon.
Yeah, but more about that at a later date.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on now, and this is connected to a feature for this week's show, Jane, so I picked it very carefully.
Oh, okay.
On the 3rd of August 1922, going back in time 1 or 2 years, the very first Mickey Mouse watch was introduced at the cost of $3.25. However, it was deemed to be a tad expensive for the 1922s, so it was dipped down just under the $3 mark. In recent years, this watch is now sold for a staggering $6,000 plus mark.
Ouch.
Yeah, quite an expensive wristwatch there.
Yeah, quite a find if you happen to come across one in somebody's belongings.
Yeah, so it left me thinking, I know a bit. We'll play a little game.
Oh, well, no.
Yeah, I've priced up 3 Disney collectibles, and I wondered how close you could get to their estimated value in this time, right now.
Right, this is going to be fun. I'm just saying this is not pre-prepared. I do not know anything. Michelle's going to fire at me now.
No,
these will be complete and utter guesses, and I am rubbish at this sort of thing.
And I was really mean, and I didn't even send Jane any show notes for today, so she's no idea.
Flying blind, ladies and gentlemen, flying blind.
Okay, well, let's start simple.
Go on then.
So, you know bubble gum? Chewing gum, as we call it over here.
Oh, no. All right, so chewing gum is just chewing gum, not blowing bubbles.
Yeah.
Not that that's going to matter anyway, but carry on, yeah.
And we all know it's not allowed in the theme parks.
No.
So I find it quite funny that there was a series back in the 1930s where you got a piece of bubble gum and a trading card, and it cost next to nothing. An unopened, still sealed bubblegum and trading card from 1935. How much do you think it's sold for?
Oh, now, the thing is, some of these collectible cards depend, and obviously if it's sealed and everything, is going to be more expensive, because I do know, having gone through some belongings of my dad's, I've found a load of cigarette cards.
Oh, yeah.
From the 1930s, and I thought, ooh, this could be an interesting find. And when you start looking into it, yeah, it's not quite as interesting as you might think. But I would imagine this is going to be slightly different. So it's just a piece of chewing gum, bubble gum, and a card, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. Nice and simple.
$200.
All right, I suggest you sit down, love.
Oh my goodness, go on.
Are you
ready?
ready?
It four figures?
It is actually.
Oh, go on.
$3,383.
No.
I know. I was quite surprised about that one.
I suppose a lot of these things, if they're in pristine condition, because I know from just my little bit of research regarding cigarette cards, this is something for people to bear in mind. If they've been stuck into a book, because it was collectible books at the time, then because they've been stuck in, it takes the value away from them. So they're better off not having been stuck in anything, because the backs of the cards themselves have got sticky on them. So once that's kind of been disrupted, you lose all the information and details on the back of the cards.
You see, this is what gets me as a collector. Do I unbox something and enjoy it, or do I leave it boxed for that value. Which has got the greater value? The pleasure of seeing it and touching it and smelling it and having it in my hand, or keeping it pristine in a box. And it's a real struggle if you're a real collector.
Yeah, I mean, we've had this conversation at our house because Simon's got quite a lot of Star Wars figures from the late 1970s and early 1980s. But he had them as a child and they were bought and they were played with. So none of them are in, boxes, and they're all well loved. And it's like there weren't, the element of you're not buying it as a future investment. You're buying it as something to play with or something to admire. So it's, yeah. What's if you're buying it for investment purposes, then fine, keep it in a box. But why would you be wanting to do that? There's other ways to invest your money.
Absolutely. Well, you didn't do so good on that one. Let's see about the next one. This is probably a little bit more up your street. It's a comic book.
Okay.
And it's a Walt Disney's Uncle Scrooge, number 385, originally costing 10 cents, and it was from 1952.
Right, so is this a special edition of any description?
No, as I said, 10 cents.
You see, now comic books, again, I've got a little bit of knowledge because my other half has an awful lot of Batman comics. So I do know that people will buy, in bulk, an amount of comics in the hope that in amongst there's a particular issue that is worth, something. So I'm not going to go very high. I'm only going to go about, I don't know, $80, something like that.
All right, get sat down, love.
Oh, God, blimey.
So the reason it's valued so high is that it was the first comic book with Uncle Scrooge on the cover and containing his story.
Okay.
And it recently sold for $23,900.
Crikey me. You see, a lot of this comes down to just having that genie in a bottle sort of thing, isn't it? That element of it's a certain edition at a certain time, if it's been kept in good nick as well. And also it depends on how many of these things were produced or how many were sold, because I don't think we appreciate that the further on in time that we get, so the more modern something, the production levels are so vast that you're not really going to have that rarity that perhaps you did from something going back that far in time.
Right, last one, lovely.
Okay, go on.
So this is a Mickey Mouse Mad Doctor poster. So Mickey Mouse is being portrayed as the classic Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Hyde type,
like mad scientist,
Frankenstein doctor type thing. It was originally printed in 1933. It is 27 inches by 41 inches and it is in mint condition. How much did it sell for?
Well, I'm going to go stupid now because the last two have been really silly. So, I don't know. Let's say, she says, picking a completely random number out of midair, $31,500.
You're close.
Really?
No.
$138,000. Well, I was closer than I thought I was going to be.
Yeah, it was really interesting doing a little bit of research on this, and quite a lot of the items that have got really high prices are things that were made of paper because obviously rarity, mint condition,
deterioration over time, isn't it? Yeah.
So I felt that was. I hope you enjoyed that, Jane. Anyway, it just goes to show that one day, my Club 33 little pin badge might be worth £6.
I'm going to say, this is, and like I said before, I think as we get into the more modern times and things are so much more mass-produced and produced in, like you said, Michelle, it's not just flimsy paper that's deteriorating. It's more durable fabrics, and it's going to be more the quirky things and perhaps the more expensive things to buy that are going to be ultimately worth something.
Yeah. I think that the one collectible that I've got that's probably going to be eventually worth some money is I've got a leaf, a plastic leaf, not a real leaf, of the tree that the Swiss Family Robinson tree house was in Disneyland, and it's framed and it's got an authenticity certificate from Disney, and I was gifted that by Terry Harden, and I think that might eventually have a value. But for me, it's on my desk. It's priceless to me because a good friend gave it to me. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. I think there's an element to all of this. As much as people may collect things, I don't think people genuinely, or very few, I'd like to think anyway, are collecting purely from a monetary point of view. I think you're collecting because you enjoy the art of collecting and you enjoy getting those items and having them out on display.
Yeah. Right, shall we move on?
Let's.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. I'm going to Walt Disney World in about 13 days.
Okay, go on then.
Not that I've not mentioned it.
You've not mentioned it at all, no.
No.
Such a surprise that you're going, Michelle.
It is. And I've got over the trauma of the flight.
Is that all sorted? Because they were changing things on your left, right and centre, weren't they?
Yeah, and I rang them up on Tuesday because the lady I spoke to said, oh, you'll get a refund because you're now not flying part of the journey. And I said, great, that'll now compensate me for the, £120 for the fuel to drive down to Heathrow and back. It'll compensate me for booking the hotel down in London. Admittedly, I didn't book a hotel near the airport because they were silly prices, so I booked one a little bit further out. But I played savvy. It's near where Caroline lives, who's my travel buddy for the trip. And it's also next to a Marks and Spencer's food hall and a Wagamama's, so I won't go without. So, yeah, and they said, oh, yeah, you'll get a refund. So I rung them up on Tuesday and says, look, it's been over a week now and you've not got back to me with how much refund I'm getting. You're not getting a refund, was the response I got.
Why? So they've cancelled part of your flights and you're not getting a refund for it?
Yeah, because seemingly it costs more money to travel from Heathrow than it did Manchester. So, yeah, anyway, there's a complaint going in because their lady did advise me that I'd be getting a discount. You know, end of the day, I just want to be on the damn plane. But then, quirkily enough, I goes back on the app and they've only gone and deleted all the reserved seating I've booked on the plane and paid for.
No.
Yeah, so I had to ring them back again.
And?
I've been reinstated 2 of the 3 seats I've reserved. The third one, they're not able to do it. But because on the outbound journey, Caroline and I have our own flight bookings, I wanted to be able to sit next to her. So once they cancelled me off, I wasn't sitting next to her anymore. And because I'm not in charge of her booking, it was a nightmare. Anyway, sorted.
Good.
Partially.
Okay.
So, yes. So, I've also been very productive and found myself a company that will do an in-hotel room proctored video call with me so I can have a COVID test done on the Thursday so that I can have it done 2 days before I go on the cruise. So I've booked it at 20 to 7 in the morning because I thought, well, I can't do it at 7 o'clock because I'll be trying to do my Genie Plus reservations then.
Yeah.
So I'll have to go with before that time so I can do the test, pray to the Lord above that it's going to be negative. And then they send me a certificate that I can send to Disney. I still don't have a clue what I'm doing or which park bench I'll be sleeping on if it's positive.
Well, you can't really worry about that and unless it happens, can you really?
True. Anyway, let's get to the fun stuff.
Okay, the fun stuff, yes.
So, what are the few things that I've booked that I have never done before or I'm really looking forward to?
Right, okay.
So, I'm going to start with the best way to start your day.
Breakfast?
Absolutely. I have got 3 places I have surprisingly never had breakfast at.
Okay.
So the
Where's
first
that?
one is Cape May over at the Beach Club.
Okay.
And this is my bon voyage going on a cruise breakfast.
Uh-huh.
And they are renowned at Cape May for their salted caramel beach buns served with vanilla cream.
Oh, yummy.
So I'm going to forget all the other stuff, waffles, French toast, cheddar biscuits and gravy, all of that stuff. I'm just going to have beach buns galore.
Nice.
And it's a lovely location as well at the Beach Club because I can just sort of stumble out of bed, put all my suitcases in Anthony's car, and then the 4 of us, the 4 musketeers, can go off and have our breakfast and enjoy.
Nice.
So that's one thing I'm really looking forward to. But I'm going to be a tad tired because we'll have done Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party the night before.
Oh, you'll
And
be fine.
breakfast is at 08:10.
Yeah, but you'll be up and making the most of the day. That's fine.
I know, I know. Another breakfast I've never done, and I can't believe I've never done it, but I think I've never done it before because it always included characters and it was more money.
Right, okay.
And this is Ohana over at the Polynesian.
Oh, I was presumed you had done breakfast at Ohana.
No, never done it. Never done it. I've done dinner more than once and enjoyed
Right.
those skewers and hit it to the man, but never done Ohana Breakfast. So I thought it'd be really nice to go off and wander around the Magic Kingdom for a bit and then get the monorail, go get breakfast. I think we've got a fairly late morning breakfast, about 11 o'clock, because I think their breakfast runs half 11, 12-ish.
Oh, wow, okay.
And it's one of those all you care to enjoy skillet malarkeys.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be both on the meatitarian one. But you never know. I could have a go and just be nosy on what the plant-based options are, because they've got a cinnamon sugar donut, which sounds so good.
Nice that you're going plant-based for the healthy stuff then, Michelle.
Oh yeah, don't give me pretend sausage and pretend eggs and all of that lot. No, I want the healthy stuff. But yeah, it's quite interesting. Obviously, I'm going to have some of the Kona coffee.
Of course.
It's, a beautiful French press pot. Serves two. Serves one, because Caroline doesn't drink coffee.
All the more for you.
And of course, they have their famous pineapple coconut breakfast bread.
Oh, it does sound good.
Anything with pineapple.
And
Just
coconut, to be fair. I'm quite
true.
a coconut girl, yeah.
True. So I'm very excited about going there. And the final breakfast is because this place has just opened. And it is Steakhouse 71.
Oh, and I've heard some nice things about there.
There's so many things, and I'm eating there for lunch and I'm eating there for breakfast, and I'm very tempted with Walt's prime rib hash.
I think we said when we looked at the menu, if my memory serves right, it's really good value for money as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but they also have pancakes, Jane, and you know me and pancakes.
Well, you could have both.
Well, I've got an idea, and I'm gonna test it out for the listeners.
Right.
Remember when I went to Kona Cafe, R.I.P. Kona, I couldn't get a reservation because she closed all the time I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
They had a trio of macadamia nut pancakes.
Yeah.
I only ordered one and was charged $5. So
I see where this is going.
I'm going to have a nice word with the nice server lady and say, instead of charging me $15 for this 71 seasonal pancake stack, can I just have one pancake and see if she'll do it? And that
Why
way
not?
I can have the best of both worlds and don't spend a fortune, because I'm being savvy with me pennies on this trip, Jane.
Well, I think as anybody is at the moment, Michelle, and I think this is something that from a British point of view, I was actually talking about this with Simon the other day. In America, they're a lot more used to people going along to a restaurant and asking for things on the side, or can you exclude X and could I have something else in place of, please? Whereas for us British, we don't really do that very well over here. We kind of feel like it's not something we should do. And I'm getting better at it, because being low carb and keto, I don't want a breakfast platter with bread because I'm not going to touch it. So I will now say, can I have it without, and can I substitute in? So that's the nice thing for you, Shell, going somewhere and asking for something particular. It's not like you're asking for something out of the ordinary. It's quite a commonplace thing to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, I do remember the first time I went over to the States on my own, and a big group of us went out for dinner, and I got this meal and it was absolutely awful. So I just had a mouthful and left it, and everyone was saying, "What's the matter?" I said, "Oh, it's just not good." And they all tried it and said, "Oh no, it's not good." Well, why aren't you complaining and sending it back? "Oh, that's not the British thing."
No, we don't do that.
We don't do that.
The server comes along and says, "Everything all right?" And we go, "Yes," even though it isn't. That's what we do, isn't it?
Yeah. But they made me give it back and I got something else instead. But I am getting better at being polite about it.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's why you give people a tip.
Yeah, exactly.
So where else am I looking at? So that's it for breakfasts. There's 2 new lounges I want to go to that I've never been to.
Okay, which are those?
Ogre's Cantina, number 1.
Of course, yes.
So I'm just sort of thinking, do I go for the lip-tingling fuzzy tauntaun?
Yeah, maybe.
And that's sort of, that drink is right up my alley because it's got peach vodka, peach schnapps, orange juice with tangerine, and it's got that tingling, mouth-numbing thingy. So that is really, really appealing because those are flavours that I really like. And everything else on there doesn't really grab me because it's all got something in it that I don't really like drinking.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm going to go with that one. And then the other one is Space 220.
Of course, yes.
We was able to get a lounge reservation for there for one afternoon. I sort of timed it with downpour time.
All being well.
All being well, you know what it's like. And I think I'll just be probably going and getting a beverage.
Well, and nice just to say you've been in there, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You know, an espresso martini and think of you, Jane.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Because I don't think I really fancy any of the food because it's quite pricey.
Yes, I have heard. I heard it's good, but it's pricey.
Yeah, well, obviously with the lounge, you've got a different menu. If you're going in the restaurant side, it's either $55 for 2 courses or the evening is X amount more. And to be honest, there's nothing really that's grabbing me. So I think I will go just for an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, have a little drinky, get to see the ambience.
And another good thing about my timing of the trip is I've watched everybody, and I mean literally everybody, go around World Showcase and try all the foods out. And I've now got a list of the ones that they all sort of correlate and say are good value.
Ah.
Because I've watched a lot and I sort of put together a bit, you know how geeky I am. I put together a bit of an Excel spreadsheet of all the different vloggers that I followed and all the different foods that I fancied that they said they liked. And if all the vloggers agree, I'm going to try them.
You know what? I was just about to say to you, Michelle, I bet you've got a little spreadsheet going. And you're going to be ticking them off as you do them, aren't you? Leaving a little comment, because we'll all want to know when you come back exactly what was what.
Yeah. Yeah, this afternoon I'm going to be sewing myself up a little trash can tablecloth so I can take pictures and enjoy the food on a Mickey sort of tablecloth.
No matter where you are.
Add a bit of class.
Absolutely.
If you're going to eat off a trash can, you're going to eat off a trash can in style.
Yeah, if we're going to have to do it, we're going to do it with style.
Yeah. Obviously, I've got 2 different hotels to stay at. I've got Pop Century and Beach Club, and I've been at Pop. We love Pop. But Beach Club is a new one for me. So, and if you're staying at Beach Club, there's 2 things you've got to do.
Go on.
The Lazy River.
Yeah.
And Beaches and Cream.
Of course.
So, yeah.
No Way Jose, I feel, may be on the menu.
It will be being enjoyed as a solo visit, yes. Shelley, no share, no way, Jose.
No.
And then after all of that fun and games, it's 7 nights on the Disney Fantasy going on the Western Caribbean itinerary. So I'm very excited.
I am for you as well.
And please have ready bubble wrap and an ambulance because I will be endeavouring to climb up Dunn's River Falls.
Okay.
I managed to track down a vlogger who literally showed the whole experience about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And it took him about an hour and a half. And it's not an hour and a half of climbing, but it's more like you're actually only climbing for about 20 minutes. But they keep pausing so people can dunk into the little pools and have the pictures taken. Slight bit of concern because obviously I do have a herniated disc in my back, so eek. But I've been told that Anthony will assist and I've got some very grippy water shoes, so yeah.
Interesting.
And what else did we book? Oh, we've booked snorkelling as well. We're going to go and snorkel over some reefs and shipwrecks. So I'm very excited about that. And then obviously all the good stuff on the Disney Fantasy food. We've got Paolo brunch. We have got Remy desserts. We've also got Paolo dinner, but it's on the last night and we may run out of money, so we may cancel that one. And we're doing a few beverage tastings.
Oh, as is the law on a cruise ship, I feel.
Absolutely. So, yeah, that's a very, very quick overview of the trip. And if any of you guys have a challenge for me that you'd like me to try while I'm there, as long as it doesn't involve snails, I'm pretty much up for it. So let us know. info@disneydreamgirls.com. I'll happily get back to you with a programme. But you can also find us on Disney Dream Girls Podcast Family. And when I'm in the parks, I'll be doing a few lives on there. So make sure you're a member of the family, member of the gang. And another thing is we've got some Patreon shows coming up. I did a corker with Kat and Lewis about some of the things they're looking forward to. And there's going to be a show with them talking about all of the theme parks in Walt Disney World. And then another one talking about resorts and Disney Springs and things that we're looking forward to. So there's a lot of things coming up. So we will be keeping you busy while I'm away as well.
Nice.
Right, lovely. I think we'll put a pin in this and we'll head on over and record a Patreon.
Okay.
Don't forget, you can find us patreon.com/Disney Dream Girls, and you'll get bonus episodes. You'll get to hear the podcast earlier than anywhere else, and our eternal thanks for helping and supporting the show and keeping it advert free. But until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.